calling it the myth of scarcity, I think, is helpful in the sense that myth, in its original intent, was a blueprint for a way to live. So if we have this myth of a way to live called scarcity, it immediately sets us up as for organizing our life around a program of lack, a program of fear and doubt. And we know that as soon as you go to fear and doubt, on a brain level, at the very least, we become less resourceful, less creative, less able to change our situation. So, just on the basic level of a program for how we're going to approach solving problems in our world, setting up our life so that we're moving to where we want to move instead of perpetuating the same problem over many generations, we need a different, let's say, a myth or a blueprint for living that's one of creativity and possibility and potential and abundance. We have the ability to move to a different way of organizing our life, a different myth or blueprint that says how then, if there is always enough money, there has been for probably always been enough money, always enough food, always enough time, knowledge, love, and health. If that's true, then how does that change the conversation we have about the way we approach these challenges that we call problems in our time? How do we move that from problems to opportunities? Creativity by its nature says that something can happen that's never happened before. So instead of basing what we can and can't do on the story of our past, instead of figuring it out based on especially the fears of our past, if we were able to move to that other blueprint of possibility and left the false evidence that fear creates out of the conversation, immediately our reptile brain, our mammal brain, and our neocortex brain would be more united, we'd be more resourceful, we'd be more intuitively logical and more logically intuitive, we'd be more co-creative and more connected. There might be many reasons that we could say that this conversation for a compelling future is important. The one that stands out the most to me is this thing called resonance. That when a challenge in the world isn't met with a certain kind of creativity and allowed to continue through generations, what we know from resonance is the problem, the unsolved challenge, the unmet opportunity moves to the next generation with increased tangibility and resonance. That the problem doesn't stay the same, the problem grows. We're reaching a point where the way we're currently approaching things is not only unsustainable, it's reaching a tipping point. So the importance of this now is to say that if you get what you focus on, if that's a principle that we could say has been demonstrated over and over again on many levels, that this constant focusing on fear and doubt and scarcity is only going to bring us more fear and doubt and scarcity. That the more we focus on opposition, the more we create opposition. If we base our context for the conversation on there has always been enough and there is enough now, and from that decide then if there is enough, how will we appropriate our resources, our energies, our knowledge? Then we have a different ball game. We have a different world we're living in. For us to have a true solution to what happens with our energy, what happens with our food, how we clean up the air and the water and the land, how we are with each other, the way we take care of the children in the world. If we're no longer afraid there won't be enough, we'll make different decisions about that. We need to have a conversation that's based on there being enough, and so if there's more than enough, then how, from that place, how will we choose? to use our resources, the richness that we have available to us? And how will we safeguard it for the future generations? And how will we honor the call of those generations?